Hello there! Today I'm going to be listening to the new Arctic Monkeys album called The Car for the first time. I haven't heard any of the singles or anything leading up to this. I don't really know what to expect. From what I've seen online, I believe they're continuing the Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino type of sound. I know that this is kind of an unpopular opinion, but that's actually one of my favorite Arctic Monkeys albums. I get that it's not for everyone, but I personally love it, so I'm okay with them continuing that sound, and I'm excited to get into this if that is actually what they're doing. And I'm not gonna ramble on for too long. Let's just get into track number 1 called There'd Better Be a Mirror Ball. Gonna turn it up so loud I can't hear myself think. Okay. I feel like I'm in a horror movie, getting stabbed to death. I love it.
Don't get emotional, that ain't like you.
Do not relate to that lyric. This sounds so good.
So if you wanna walk me to the car, you ought to know I'll have a heavy heart. So can we please be absolutely sure that there's a mirror ball? And how's that insatiable appetite?
Oh my god, this sounds so beautiful.
For the moment when you look them in the eye. So do you wanna walk me to the car?
Yeah. I'm a sucker for some strings.
I'm sure
Absolutely.
that
It's
there's
so
a
pretty.
mirror ball.
Oh my god. I feel like this video might just end up being called Brianna Says Oh My God for 30 minutes straight. Because that's all I'm feeling right now. It sounds so fucking good. Okay, that was track number 1. So right off the bat, definitely giving me Tranquility Base vibes, which as I've mentioned, I'm okay with. I love that album. To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics. I have them here in front of me, which is why I'm looking down, but I was so distracted by the music that I wasn't really keeping track of what was going on, so I have no idea what that song was about. I did like how he mentioned the car, because I was wondering why the album was called The Car. It feels like a weirdly ominous title. Like, where's the car? What are we doing in the car? Who does the car belong to? It's a really strange album title. And I wouldn't say it's a strange album cover. It's a strange album cover for Arctic Monkeys. Obviously, as I mentioned while we were listening, production sounds incredible. Orchestration, arrangement sounds incredible. That was just a really beautiful sounding song. Let's just get into track number 2, which is I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am. Is this a little disco-y?
By the retina scan, formation displays of affection fly over. Eyes roll back, and I can see both islands now.
Okay.
It's the intimation.
An interesting direction.
Formation displays of affection fly over. Eyes roll back, and I can see both islands now. From my vantage point, the spare set of tingles will raise up your spine.
Okay. So, once again, sounds incredible. I totally understand if this kind of sound isn't for you. I absolutely get it if this isn't the kind of direction that you would prefer them to go in. But I feel like you have to admit that this album sounds objectively amazing. I get it if it's not your cup of tea, but like that sounds absolutely gorgeous and you can't tell me it doesn't. So once again, I was following along with the lyrics. I did not really catch on to what was going on. I have a feeling that this is an album that is made to grow on you and that you need to listen to more than once to grasp everything, just like Tranquility Base was. So yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to be catching on to many of the song meanings on first listen, and I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself too, because I feel like if I do, I'm just going to be talking absolute nonsense. I feel like if you would have told me a decade ago that this is the music that Arctic Monkeys would have ended up making, I don't know what I would have told you, but like a disco Motown sounding song? I don't know. I'm into it, but super unexpected compared to where they were years ago. The next track is called Sculptures of Anything Goes. Talk about ominous.
Hallelujah, blank canvases lent against gallery walls.
Oh my god. I feel anxious. I'm like, where is this going?
Puncturing your bubble of relatability with your horrible new sound. Baby, those mixed messages ain't what they used to be.
This sounds pretty modern. Oh, there are the strings again.
The simulation
I'm gonna bring up the strings whenever I can, because I love them.
Flash that angle, grind a smile, gasp, and roll your eyes, and help.
Okay. I have no idea what that song was about. I'm trying to find some kind of like narrative through line to see if it's some sort of concept album like Tranquility Base was. I'm really trying to find some patterns and I'm not finding anything. So I'm going to assume as of right now that this album has no sort of concept or theme, and I will read about it online later and probably find out that I'm wrong and that I completely missed it, because I did not pick up on it with Tranquility Base either. Yeah, I feel like this is absolutely an album that I'm going to need to listen to several times before I know how I really feel about it, because it's not very like immediately satisfying or catchy. It's definitely something that's meant to grow on you and that's meant to be rewarding the more you listen to it. So I'm having kind of a hard time formulating my thoughts right now. I would say as of right now, I'm not like crazy in love with all of it. I love the overall sound and I love the production, but nothing's really standing out to me too much on first listen, but I know that that's going to change. This is definitely not an album that you're supposed to completely understand right off the bat and then, you know, get everything from right away. I'm gonna need quite a bit of time with this before I can fully embrace it, I feel like. So this is kind of just getting my first impressions, but it doesn't really mean much. I'm sure that my thoughts on this album now are going to be nothing like my thoughts on this album will be in a few months. The next track is Jet Skis on a Moat.
Jet whiskey's on the
Okay.
moat. They shot it all in cinema scope, as though it's the last time you're gonna ride. Is there something on your mind? Or are you just happy to sit there and watch while the paint job dries? And when it's over, you're supposed to know. Or are you just happy to sit there and watch while the paint job dries? And when it's over, you're supposed to know.
Interesting. I am running into a bit of a similar issue that a lot of people have with Tranquility Base, where a lot of these songs sound very similar. So I'm kind of running out of things to say. Like, once I say something about one of these songs, I've said something about all of these songs so far. I think that consistency is good, and I think that it's fine to stick to a specific sonic palette. However, a little bit of variety is also nice. I could definitely do with some change-ups because these are all kind of like mid-tempo, like orchestral pop. It's how many tracks are we in? We're getting into track number 5. And to be honest, I'm not really expecting any major change-ups. So I have a feeling it might be this way all the way through just based on Tranquility Base. I feel like I'm bringing up that album a lot, but obviously this is a continuation of that sound. I feel like I don't need to explain why I keep bringing that album up. Obviously this is like, I don't want to say it's a sequel because it's not unlike Arctic Monkeys to take a sound they've already done and take it further. That's something that they do a lot, but I feel like in my mind this is like a sequel to Tranquility Base because it is so similar. Anyways, let's get into the next track, which is Body Paint. Okay.
For a master of deception and subterfuge, you've made yourself quite the
That piano is gorgeous. I'm gonna keep talking about how good this album sounds because it sounds incredible.
My teeth are beating and my knees
Strings. The strings are beautiful. I feel like I need a mention of the string counter up here.
Don't have to mean that you've gone into hiding. So predictable, I know what you're thinking.
Strings.
I'm watching your every move. I feel the tears are coming on, and I'm keeping on my costume and calling it a writing
That's interesting, and I'm keeping on my costume. I'm calling it a writing tool.
I'm probably thinking of you.
I feel like I just want to like close my eyes to fully submerge myself in the world of this album. I feel like I'm not in the right environment. I feel like I need to be like laying in bed with my eyes closed in the dark to fully appreciate this.
I know what you're thinking.
Ha! Okay, so I want to say that that's my favorite track so far just because I feel like it's the most immediately catchy. And then I realized that this was the second single after There'd Better Be a Mirror Ball, which makes sense because it's probably the most conventional pop song so far. That's not to say that it's like a top of the Hot 100 radio hit or anything, but so far it's the closest thing we have to a conventional pop song. Yeah, and it was really great. I loved it. I thought it sounded incredible. I still don't know what any of these songs are about. I got nothing. Nothing. I feel like I've always really gravitated towards like Baroque pop, chamber pop, art pop. So this is like right up my alley. I don't know what it is about this kind of music that just does it for me. I don't know if it's because I had a lot of it around when I was a kid or something. I don't know what it is, but it makes me feel so warm and fuzzy inside. It like feels so warm. I don't know. And the sound of this album is so like full and lush, and it just feels like a hug. I love this sound. I get that it's not for everyone, but I just love it. This is like this feels like it was made just for me. So of course I love it. I get why people don't, but I do. The next song is called The Car.
But it ain't a holiday until you go to fix.
You know what would be really cool is if I understood what any of these lyrics meant. And I don't want to look it up on Genius because, I don't know, I kind of just want to follow along on my own for the first listen. But I have no idea what the fuck is going on in any of these songs.
But it ain't a holiday until they force you to make a wish. They say climb up there, jump off that, and you pretend to fall asleep on the way back. No, it ain't.
Okay, I feel like I am saying the same thing for every single one of these tracks. It is pretty. Everything that I said about every other song before this applies to this song. This is, again, the same issue that happened with Tranquility Base, where it was like, okay, this album does one thing. It does that one thing very well, and if you like that one thing, you will probably like the album. However, you are only getting that one thing. And yeah, that's what's happening so far with this one. I have a feeling it's probably going to continue through the rest of the tracks. I also feel like if I wasn't pausing and talking in between all of these songs and I just listened to this all the way through with no pauses, I probably wouldn't know where every song began and ended. I feel like I probably wouldn't be able to tell any of these songs apart. You know what? Actually, I can't really tell any of these songs apart because I'm looking at the track list right now. I don't really remember what any of these sound like individually from each other. I know what the whole album sounds like, couldn't tell you what the songs sound like individually. The next song is called Big Ideas. Strings.
Over and out. It's been a thrill. I had big ideas. The band was so excited.
interesting. I had big ideas. The band were so excited, the kind you'd rather not share over the phone, but now the orchestra's got us all surrounded, and I cannot for the life of me remember how they go.
Some just hysterical scenes.
I feel like I finally know what a song is about. Oh my god, I'm a genius. It's the most straightforward song on the album, but I'm such a genius. Oh, that's really pretty. I finally understood a song. Oh my god. I'm so smart. I've got a lot going on up there. So that song was I watch me be wrong. Oh my god. I feel like that song was just about them changing sonic direction. And also all of the pressure that's on them from fans. Being an artist must be so hard, dude. Like oh my god, it's so hard to be rich and famous. No, but like, I don't know. I can't even deal with people's expectations of me as like a normal person. Imagine having that many people paying attention to what you're doing. I'm overwhelmed already, and I'm pretty insignificant. Actually, I'm very insignificant. I don't know why I said pretty. I contribute nothing to society, and I'm overwhelmed. I can't imagine what it's like to have that many people watching you and like holding you up to a certain standard, and then if you want to change and do something different, that must be so scary. I can't even imagine. Okay, the next track is Hello You. Okay. Strings.
Hello, gruesome. There's just enough time left to swing by.
I love the sound of this.
The start. If you're calling, have them pull around the card and stop specializing in stories from the road. Hello, you. This electric warrior's motorcade shall burn no more rubber down that boulevard. Read the message I left on the thank you card. Overtaking the tractor, waiting for sets of winds and bends to level out again. Picking a moment along a country lane.
Do I need to say it again? This album sounds incredible. Oh my god. See, like, this album isn't even sad. Or at least I don't think it is. Again, I'm missing a lot of lyrics. Maybe these lyrics are really sad. But I feel like I could just cry. It's so pretty. I feel like if you got me in the right mood and I listened to this, I would start bawling. Absolutely bawling. Okay. That one was another one of my favorites, unsurprisingly, since it's one of the catchier, groovier kind of songs. It's not really any surprise that that one's one of my favorites on first listen. I had a grasp on the lyrics on the one before that, and I completely lost it again on that one. So I'm trying to figure out right now. My main focus is why this album is called The Car. There have been mentions of cars. I'm not sure if it's enough for me to understand why the album is called that. I'm sure there is a very good reason, but I have not caught on to it yet. I want to say that there's a mention of a car in that song, although I can't remember if it was that song or the song before, because again, these are all blending together. These all sound very similar. But yeah, I can't understand why it's called The Car yet. So let me know. Well, actually, I'm sure I'll read about it online, but feel free to let me know too. I'm lost, dude. I'm so lost right now. The next song is Mr. Schwartz. That's pretty.
Put your heavy metal to the test. There might be half a love song in it all for you. Wardrobes lint rolling your velveteen.
I am so excited to go on Genius and just read every single annotation after this. I feel like I'm missing out on so much of the listening experience. But I feel like if I look it up right now, it'll distract me. I don't know. I feel like it's best to not read them my first listen, but I'm excited. Because I know that these are a lot deeper than I'm giving them credit for right now.
Do we win a prize? Having attempted twice, both incorrectly. Do we get a third try? Asking after all the wives and the kids. It's at the heart of what the business is.
Okay. I didn't fully get that song until the last line. I believe that song is talking about the entertainment industry, show business, whatever you want to call it. I think, which relates back to the other song, was it Body Paint? And I think that there were a couple other references to it. I know that there was the wearing a disguise as a writing tool or something. I'm sure I missed others. So that's the only kind of theme that I'm noticing, is that there are a few references to, I don't know, fame, legacy, I don't know. That's the only thing I'm noticing right now, is that there seems to be a few mentions of that and probably some that I've missed. That's all I've got though. It's not that great of an observation, but it's something. I'm grabbing onto whatever I can. And the final track is called Perfect Sense.
Richard of York, the executive branch, having some fun with the warm-up act, if that's what it takes to say goodnight.
Should I just do it again for old time's sake? The strings are beautiful. One last time.
That's what it takes to say goodnight. Sometimes I wrap my head around it all, and it makes perfect sense. That's what it takes.
Okay. That's the album. So, final thoughts. I am conflicted. Um, I knew going into this that I probably wouldn't understand this on first listen when I heard that it was a similar sound to Tranquility Base. I okay. Here's why I'm conflicted, okay? I feel like I'm going easier on this than I maybe should because I am expecting that I'm going to like it on future listens. Was I completely in love with it on first listen? No, absolutely not. I thought that it sounded incredible. I thought that it sounded beautiful. I can't say that enough times. It sounds amazing. However, as I mentioned, there is a huge lack of variety. It's consistent to a fault. There, like, it's good to be consistent, but it's also good to have some switch ups now and then, and there weren't really any. So, yeah, I feel like I said, it does one thing and it does that one thing really well, but it is just one thing. I am glad that the album's only, what, 30, 31, 33 minutes long. If it were any longer, I feel like it would be a way bigger issue. Thankfully, it is a pretty short album. But yeah, I feel like maybe I'm being too easy on this because I'm expecting it to grow on me like Tranquility Base did. And who knows, maybe it won't. But I'm expecting it to. But at the same time, as a first listen experience, it was good, not great. I would say that based on how I feel about the album right now, it's towards the bottom of my Arctic Monkeys album ranking. I am expecting that to change, but who knows? Maybe it won't. What I will say right now is that I don't think that I like this better than Tranquility Base. I feel like this album is just Tranquility Base, but weirder and more abstract and darker. The sonic palette felt a little darker. Um, yeah, it feels like a sequel to Tranquility Base that I don't like quite as much. And I will mention a couple of tracks that I loved. If I looked at this track list and kind of panicked a little bit because I don't remember what any of these songs sound like individually because they all sound the same, which is not a great sign. I don't remember which ones are my favorite. I know that Body Paint was one. I believe that Hello You was one. I'll go with those two. But I don't really remember what any of these other songs sound like. So that's interesting. Yeah, as of right now, I'm feeling positive, but not overly positive about that album, if that makes sense. But I am expecting it to grow on me, truly. I don't think it'll necessarily end up being my favorite or anything, but I do think that I will like it better on future listens, especially once I go through the lyrics and kind of figure out what the album's talking about, figure out if there's anything going on that I missed, which there absolutely is. Oh my god, I picked up absolutely nothing from that. I don't even know why I have the lyrics in front of me for these things, because I never pick up on anything. I'm an idiot, okay? So yeah, I think that's all. I feel drained after that. I feel like I was using so much brain power to try and pay attention, and it didn't pay off, because I picked up on nothing. I just sat here and talked about how pretty the album sounded. Anyways, that's all. Let me know how you feel about the album. Let me know what your favorite tracks are. Let me know what you like about it, what you don't like about it. Talk to me about whatever. My social media will be linked below if you're interested. You can subscribe if you're interested. I feel like such a YouTuber when I say that, and it makes me cringe a little bit, but you can if you want. I hope for your sake that you really like the album, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.